When I walk on by, girls be seeing the sequins fly. I dance to the beat, walking in the street, my skin like teeth, yeah. This is how I roll, animal print thong out of control. It's diamond with a big ass fro, like Gary Gillette, I'm laying low, so.
Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body.
I work out.
Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body.
I work out. I walk in the spot, yeah, this is what I see. Everybody stops and they're staring at me. I'm loud singing in my pants and I ain't afraid to show it. Show it. I'm sexy and I know it. I'm sexy and I know it. When I'm at the mall, security just can't fight them off. When I'm at the beach, I'm in my speedo trying to tan my cheeks. What? This is how I roll. Come on, ladies, it's time to go. We're headed to the bar, baby, don't be nervous. No shoes, no shirt, and I still get service. What?
Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body.
I work out.
Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body.
I work out. I walk in the spot. Yeah, this is what I see. Everybody stops and they're staring at me. I'm loud singing in my pants and I ain't afraid to show it. Show it. I'm sexy and I know it. I'm sexy and I know it. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. What's that smell? My thong's on fire. It's burning up on re-entry. My favorite juice.
And as he goes crackling off into the sunset with his thong on fire.
It does bring a whole new meaning to the phrase "great balls of fire," doesn't it?
we bid Miss Diamond a fond farewell for the evening.
Germaline's in the drawer.
It's in somewhere. He needs it. He needs it something bad now.
All over.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That's a good start. I'm kicking bloody toilet tubes. What the fuck is this?
I have no idea. It's like a really cut price lightsaber, isn't it?
Yeah, hold on.
We are the crap Jedi.
Oh,
We've had budgetary cuts. We have to make all our own sound effects. Wom, wom.
The cardboard tube samurai.
Yes.
Very
threatening.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lee.
And I'm Darren.
And this is episode 103.
Shocking.
Of the Blackdog podcast.
Shocking.
Which
I demand a public inquiry.
Which I think for the moment, because I did have one title, but it would kind of give away how I felt about our Rose Tinted Specs film. But instead we should just call it Neighbours.
Everybody needs good neighbours. God, we were just missing the jazz hands there for a minute, weren't we?
I would have done jazz hands, but I had hot tea in my hand. Hello.
Jazz hands.
Yes. My balls are on fire.
Very much like Mr. Diamonds. There you
Yes,
go.
exactly. See, we don't just throw this show together.
We're thinking all the time. All the time.
It's fucking comedy gold.
Thinking all the time. Yep.
God. Anyway, so we've got this week, we have Jim Moon's Profanasaurus, we have news, we have a Mel Smith Moment of the week.
Oh.
And then we go on to Rose Tinted Specs, which is, of course, a Tom Hanks movie, The Burbs. In our 2-part When Tom Hanks Was Funny random aside moment. But anyway, before all of that, Darren, how's your week?
How was my week?
Yes.
Well, I've got a new middle name now.
Go on.
I am
Cock.
Darren Shut Your Face.
Darren, shut your face.
Shut your big, fat, Megcalf style face.
That's a really strange middle name.
You know what? Your face is like a reverse TARDIS. It's bigger on the outside. But there you go.
Ooh.
It's like a landing strip. Look at it. You can land a
Sorcerer?
B-52 bomber on that face. Look.
Saucer and milk for table 3.
Wow.
So
A 6-claw paw.
Ah,
There we go.
yeah. So I'll use your forehead as a mirror.
Shut your face. Anyway. New microphone for Mr. Metcalf, please.
Sorry, just spat tea all over it.
Yes, so I am now Darren, fully certificated Windows 7 build trainer, Barnard. Now,
is it?
I passed today.
Hooray!
Yes, and it's good for another 3 months, and then I have to go through it all again.
Really?
Yes.
What, every 3 months?
It's the sort of standards that my company is placing on us now.
Really?
Yeah.
If only they did that with the traders, eh?
Yes, indeed. If only they did. Might not be in such a mess. But there you are.
Right. Oh, right.
Oi.
A little bit of social
yeah, exactly.
commentary there.
Oi, and
Hey, bit
wah,
politics,
yeah, and
anyway.
politics and
Stuff.
and stuff and things. Yeah, not much happened to me this week, really, apart from that. You know,
No.
it meant I had a couple of days off from doing what I normally do, which was, you know, a nice little respite
Right, okay.
from that, and learning some funky little bits and bobs about Windows 7.
Okay.
So,
well, we did have Jen and Laura's pubbage.
yes, but that's a joint thing, you see.
Yeah,
Personally, apart from outside that,
Yeah,
really not that much extra.
Well, I mean,
the
I'm
money's running low.
Yeah,
That's why.
I'm only throwing that out there because I had something happen to me this week.
What's that?
Which I didn't put on Twitter because basically, it's kind of like a continuation of something that happened to me, and I wrote it on Twitter about. Ooh, God! It must have been about 18 months ago, nearly 2 years ago now, when I really first got started. And I used to do this thing when I was tweeting of sort of like walking through Soho at 8 o'clock in the morning, the worst thing it is,
Yes.
sort of thing. And the worst thing that I saw years ago, now obviously, was that outside Harmony, which is on that little
Oh, it's
Paul
that
Alley.
the specialist underwear shop.
Yes, the specialist art house manufacturers of fine lingerie,
Yes.
basically, and adult playthings.
Terrible shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Terrible.
I have to walk past it at least 3 times.
Exactly, just to show your
Show my
outrage.
outrage.
Yes.
Well, the thing was, right, at the time, right, I was walking past, and it was like 7 in the morning when I used to do sort of early shift kind of thing, and I was walking in, and basically what happened was there was all this rubbish sort of piled outside, and normally when rubbish gets piled outside of shops in Soho, you've got the homeless people kind of tend to rifle through it, because obviously there's food or things you can sell and all that kind of thing.
Right.
And I had this disturbing vision way back of this homeless guy.
I think I'm getting it now. It's transmitting straight into my brain.
Of this homeless guy coming lunging out of this rubbish at 7 o'clock in the morning with a 3-foot long black dildo, right? But the problem was, right, and this is what happened to me this week.
I thought you were going to say, you know, jumps out wearing a sexy sort of Santa suit or
I
something
think
like
it's
that.
fairly
You know, a Mrs. Santa or something, you know, because this is it. They can't sell them now. They
But
just get rid of them.
I think in the shock tactics, a homeless man not brandishing a big issue, but instead a black Mambus 5000 is, you know, it's kind of like a little bit of a worry, you know, and so. But anyway,
That's quite a frightening sight.
it was quite a frightening sight. It was like Saints Row before it even came out. But the thing was, right,
Yeah.
this week, I've been working some weird times, and I was coming home late, and I'm feeling quite tired and everything. And what should happen is I go down the Madame Jojo's little alleyway thing, you know, which is usually the most brightest lit place in London at sort of like 8 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
because like everyone's out and you get like all sorts of interesting views.
I'll
And
bet.
there was my assailant from 2 years ago, right? right? And he's kind of shuffling about, and I thought, oh yeah, okay, whatever, because you see the same ones kind of dotted about, same guys all over the place. And what was to happen was, as I walked past him, he just pulled his coat open.
No.
And he's pulled his coat
no.
And there, like a gun holster is the 2 foot long cock end.
Fuck off.
And he's kind of showing it to everyone, like he's kind of like dealing drugs or something, but he's actually showing them this 2 foot long.
I'll have no nonsense out of you, or you'll get some.
You'll get some of this. You'll get some of the big rubber truncheon.
Yes, you will. The novelty-shaped rubber truncheon.
So it kind of would require too much explaining on Twitter, so I never really mentioned it. I just kind of walked past it like, oh god, he still got it. The worst bit of all, though, these are the sort of weird things you pick up in your mind as you kind of you sort of see shocking things of homeless people with black cocks sticking out of their coats, is that it was perfectly polished. It was the cleanest thing, probably in that alleyway.
When he opened it, did you hear it go ding?
It almost had an Intel sort of inside kind of jingle, ding 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 ding, because it was so bloody shiny.
How about that for a processor?
Exactly.
Yeah, there we go. Look at that.
But if he can, my question is, what does he do to polish it?
Do you really want to know what he does to polish it?
Not really. It was more of a rhetorical question. However, it was something that was going through my mind all the way home. It's like, how the hell does he polish it? He doesn't even shave, this guy. Yeah.
He probably is. He owns a piece of chamois leather and gives it a bit of a polish, like a snooker cue. Just going in for the putt, or the putt for the pot.
Yes, perhaps. Maybe.
Do I go for the pink or the... No. No,
the pink or the brown.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so that was it.
Do you hear that whistling sound and then the abrupt thud? That's how this podcast has just dropped now.
What, are you saying this is the
lowest
ebb we've
I'm
ever
sure
had?
we can go lower.
I'm sure we've been
Much
there.
like Ed Harris in The Abyss, we can go lower.
Yeah, we need special breathing equipment.
We certainly do. Ooh, water snake. There we go.
No, it wasn't water. It was definitely rubber, and it was inside his inside coat pocket. How's that tea? You all right? You're good? Okay, fine.
It's all good. It's very good tea.
So... apart from weird homeless people who seem to 2 years on still be coveting a large sex object,
Rather threatening sexual device.
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually wondered whether he even knew what he had in his hand, or in his coat rather, because it was just like whether or not he was actually fully aware of whether or not what its implication was.
Now you see, my head is now working on this, and it's showing. It's like maybe he's like have some delusion. He's like He-Man. I have the dildo. Fabulous powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic dildo and said, "Who wants some?"
Where's the nearest Greg's? Give me 5p.
Thud. It's my phallic weapon. So yeah, it just puts your
puts
your
my cardboard-
fucking 14-inch toilet roll.
My 14-inch toilet roll to shame.
Was it as big as the toilet roll?
It wasn't far off, actually.
Fucking hellfire.
It was fucking big. I mean, it did look like it could cause some damage either internally or externally.
Christ
if
almighty.
wielded.
It was weighted with coins in the inside.
I was going to say, it wouldn't have surprised me to learn that there was another penis on the other end. It was that kind of affair.
Was it ribbed for her pleasure?
I didn't get that close. Fucking hell. He was kind of rolled up in his fucking coat pocket. I mean, the only other time I saw it, he came out of a bunch of bags at me with it. Fucking thing. I didn't stay around for that either. But yeah, there you go. That was interesting.
Yes.
In other news, I went on an Easter egg hunt around London. Woo!
How many did you find?
We found 25 so far.
Where did you go for? Did you actually just suddenly found that you couldn't find any more?
You go to the London egg hunt, or
because you must
Easter
have
egg
been
hunt.
you must have been near where I work, because there's two Right by where I work.
They've got 12 sections. So you don't, just in case you don't know, basically all around London is about 206, 208, something like Easter egg statues.
And there's 2 near Liverpool Street Station.
Yes, and basically they're all around, and if you find all of them and text in all these codes at £3 a text, I'll have you know.
Hold on, no, it's just the first text is £3, and then after that you're fine.
Well, basically, if you text in for all 200 of them, you automatically get in the draw for a Fabergé egg costing 100,000 quid.
And if you lose, you just get a Kinder Egg.
If you lose, you get a bill from the mobile phone company, who turn around and say, "Why have you spent £600 on texts?"
I was entering an egg competition.
Oh, I wanted an egg. But anyway, yes.
Fabergé egg.
Yes.
Fabergé? What? Those people that make Brute 33?
That's for Bruges.
No, yeah, Bruges.
Bruges. But no. So we went to Covent Garden. There was at least 8 there. We found.
Oh.
And then there was some in St Martin's Lane, and then there was a load in sort of Leicester Square, Trafalgar Square area.
Yeah.
And then we got to Oxford Street, and then we kind of gave up because it was getting dark. But the rather weird one was in basically in Covent Garden and in the middle of the market.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the market is one which is basically hairy.
Hairy egg.
Hairy egg. Yes.
That sounds like a euphemism.
It does. And the funniest thing was that there was all these people obviously still on the egg hunt themselves, so they're all walking around with the maps. You could kind of spot them, and then you kind of like, how many have you got, kind of thing, you know, kids running about. And this bloke just walked past, and he just went, that looks like me. That looks like me when I look at myself in the bathroom floor. and I used that when I texted Matthew Smith, Matthew Stevens. Sorry, Matt Smith. That's fucking Doctor Who. Matt Stevens.
We got the message. I understand he was using it in the next episode of Doctor Who.
My hairy egg gag.
Yeah,
but no, Matt Stevens.
Guaranteed
who was also
to kill
doing
the series.
Yes. Well, no, I don't know. I think that'd go well. Karen Gillan and the hairy egg.
Too many possibilities there. Anyway,
just go with it. Go with it. Yeah. So anyway, I texted Matt Stevens. That, and he was looking, and he found an egg which was apparently designed by Ridley Scott, which was over by Canary Wharf.
Right.
And he posted that as a picture on on the Facebook group. Which has got lots of stuff going on at the moment. Facebook group's always busy. Yes, it's actually doing quite well. Including the next week's film, which I can only apologise for.
See, ladies and gentlemen, I really must stress that I had absolutely nothing to do with this at all. This is the mad ramblings of a even madder podcaster.
Oh, come on. It'll be fine.
Jesus Christ, have you watched the bloody trailer? I mean, come on.
Well, yeah.
Do you like finding flaming bags of shit outside your door? Because you're going to get a few of them. I'll tell you that after this.
I thought I'd already got some delivered after announcing Thunderbirds, I thought, last time, and then I had to back off of that. But
just because it's a flaming bag with KFC on the side of it, don't go in.
Chicken.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's something in there. It's fried, but it ain't chicken. There might be bits of chicken in it.
It smells like corn.
Yeah,
it smells like burning corn.
There you are.
Anyway, so that's that. Can't really tell you anything about work, unfortunately, because I've got about 5 jobs on the go, and all of them are a pain in the arse, and I can't really get into it. Really. No, not the homeless guy with a dildo again.
I was going to say,
like that.
you know.
No, anyway, so shall we do some news?
Let's do some news, go on.
Hey, we're gonna hear some news now.
Right, okay, so the news. Okay, well, we got a bit of news which, as per bloody usual, after we said there was no news last week and then basically stumbled through IO9's gibberings, then suddenly out of nowhere a load of fucking news appeared.
Yes.
So, so let's go through the news from almost last week.
A news ambush.
A news ambush. A news bush.
A news army.
A news army.
A news army. There we go.
It's a wasabi. But anyway, let's start with the first bit, which was 2000 AD.
Yes.
Had its 35th anniversary last week. And Simon Pegg, on the set of Star Trek 2, or Star Trek 12, depending on your point of view, basically sent a little message going, oh, well, happy birthday, blah-de-blah-de-blah. Then promptly said, well, what better way to celebrate 2000 AD's 35th year than to have Judge Dredd himself wish them very happy birthday. So then you cut to Carl Urban, obviously in his McCoy phase, basically jumping into his Judge Dredd phase, and Pegg getting the video and focusing on his chin. To which Urban then went, happy birthday, creeps. And that was that. So, Darren, what did you think of said video?
Now, you see, I think I've been burned by Batman too much, right?
Right.
Christian Bale
Yes.
has a lot to answer for.
Well, yeah.
Because, as we know, Christian
drink.
Bale,
Take a drink.
Take a drink, yeah. Oh, fuck it, I've got no drink. Oh, my water's over there.
Go, yeah. Okay, go on.
But as we know, Christian Bale doesn't
drink.
exactly do the best Batman impression
No.
ever.
Spider-Man! Geronimo!
But it's like, it might be fine if we're talking very quietly, but when he loses it, now you're just doing Brian Blessed. Can you imagine Brian Blessed as Batman?
It wouldn't be,
the Cape Crusader.
it wouldn't be hard to spot him, though, would it?
No, it
really?
wouldn't,
I think
no.
He'd be the only fat Batman with a beard 6 foot longer than his cape.
He wouldn't exactly be very lithe, would he? You
No,
know,
he wouldn't be dodging bullets.
no, not at all.
Yeah, but go on,
But
carry
anyway,
on.
yes, going to this message. So I must admit, when I heard Carl Urban speak as Judge Dredd, I'm automatically thinking, please have a bit more bass in your voice when it comes to the film, because you're starting to sound suspiciously like Christian Bale as Batman.
Really? Because the vibe I got...
I
from
may be
listening
wrong.
to
I may
it-
be wrong.
No,
Maybe
no,
it's
no,
just he was
fine.
saying it quietly, but
I mean,
it's...
well, firstly, it's a video camera that's recording him, and not a very good one by the looks of the bloody quality of the Simon Pegg picture, because he looked like he basically was under a brilliant halogen light, so it almost was like I think he was filming on his iPhone. So that's the first thing. Not trying to make excuses, though, bear in mind.
No.
But when he did it, he sounded like someone trying to do a Clint Eastwood impression. That's the vibe I got.
Yeah.
Which, in some ways, ain't a bad thing, because that's essentially what Dredd was based on. He had that Eastwood vibe from the start. Now, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. We know that Urban, when he pulls his accent thing out the bag, he can do it. I mean, obviously, McCoy's the best example. But even like with Priest, when he was talking all like this, and he was kind of giving it a bit of the... he can do that voice. And he doesn't do the Christian Bale, very, very method.
Yeah.
But I haven't had to do this bit, kind of thing. Where he sounds like he's sort of like he's one step away from biting on a towel rail to get rid of a particularly strong curry.
Laryngitis much?
Fucking hell!
So yeah, it was just when I heard that, it was like
Yeah, come on, Gary.
that. It didn't fill me with. I started. Oh no, please, no.
You have to do the voice.
What?
Well, you have to do a voice.
You have to do a voice, but you can put a bit of bass and a bit of thunder behind it. You don't have to, just because you've got a deep voice. Look at James L. Jones. I mean, come on. There's a man whose voice is so deep, fishes at the bottom of the ocean can understand him, right?
He's the Barry White of actors.
He's got,
Voice
that.
acting.
It's that kind of effect. It's that kind of, you can have a deep voice. You can do the tough guy voice. You don't need to sound like this all the time when you do voices like that.
Well, no, but
A cross
in
between
fairness,
Popeye and a fucking.
I don't think Urban was that bad.
No, but it was when he did that. It just, there was something in me that just went, oh no.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh dear God, no!
Oh no! So I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I'll probably come to the film. He's gonna, and it'll be, wrap it up, creeps, that sort of thing.
So basically, what you're saying is you're just jealous it's not you.
I am jealous it's not me, but then again, I'm hoping it's more Kevin Conroy than Christian Bale. So
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Dietrich Bader.
yeah, Dietrich. There we go. See, even Dietrich Bader, the Searcher.
Yeah. Exactly.
Even he sounded. He's putting that voice on, but even he sounded better than Christian Bale.
Well, yeah.
and he's doing it in a comedy role, for fuck's sake.
Well, he did it in Batman Brave and the Bold as well.
There you are.
He is Batman.
Yes.
In that one.
Even his voice in that sounds better than Christian Bale.
Yeah, I know. Christian Bale's just trying a little too hard, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know how we managed to get Christian Bale in so many times. If you are taking
Christian Bale.
If you are doing the Blackdog drinking game from episode 1,
We're sorry. We'll
sorry.
call an ambulance. Go, get on the phone now.
yeah, send help.
I think what we should actually advise people is before we get on and do any, before they start listening to the podcast, just have the phone right by them with an easy reach.
One of
On a
those
speed dial button, just all the buttons. Speed dial 999. Just a hand on it. 15 ambulances turn up all at once. There we go.
Blackdog Emergency 1. It's a Christian Bale drinking game. Shit.
We're going to code 34.
Yeah. Okay, next piece of news. This is another one that turned up literally as we finished recording, which is also rather annoying. But some pictures of Benedict Cumberbatch. Oh, Cumberbatch.
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 It's Cumberbatch.
Cucumber. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, Eggs Benedict. Dirk Benedict. Anyway, him fighting or losing to Spock in Star Trek 2.
Actually,
12.
he's kind of, in one picture, he's got Spock by the throat and Spock's giving it the So I'm thinking that maybe he's some sort of superpowered human.
Yeah.
You see, because, Vulcans, as we know, are pretty resilient, right? They're pretty they're fairly fucking hard, We've all seen that fight episode of fucking the Pon Farr one from the original TV. That one there. They can take shit that's dished out,
Yeah.
So for a Vulcan to kind of
Get it in the throat.
like that, give it the face, then
Yeah. He still gets shot by Uhura by the looks of the picture.
I think so, yeah.
think
Well,
he
you do see there's actual film footage of that bit
Oh, right.
where she's there's two pictures. There's one of her standing there with the gun kind of slightly raised,
Yeah.
and then one of her pointing at him, and it looks like he stepped on a live wire. So it's
Yeah. It looks like he stepped on a piece of Lego.
yeah, that's it. So there is that. So who knows? Maybe he takes a phaser blast, but
So, obviously it's way too early to tell, but
Yes.
first impressions, what did you think? Did these photos excite you, or did they make you think, oh god, here we go again, another fight on a platform, because that's what happened in the first one?
well, I must admit, I thought that Cumberbatch was going to be playing a Vulcan because he's very Vulcanesque in it.
Yes.
I thought he would have been another Vulcan, but no, he's playing from what I hear, it's a black Starfleet uniform that he's got on under
Which
the coat.
is the same, yeah, but that's the same as Kirk had it in the previous movie, which is sort of like a trainee uniform.
Yeah. Or it could be Starfleet Special Ops or something like that. Who knows?
It's hard. I would have said in context it would have been the trainee thing or spare uniform or something.
Could be.
But
I really hope that isn't a shot from the end of the movie, because I don't want to know that that's the end of the movie, because that would mean that's the big bad. Him.
Well, is it though? Because I mean, the way I looked at it, it kind of the whole thing, and I don't know whether this is just me kind of. Because the one thing I'm kind of hoping is that they don't rely on any old Star Trek enemies.
Well, it's not to say that this is an old Star Trek enemy.
But that's what I was going to say. But the thing was, one thing that struck me just looking at the pictures, right, was he looked in that sort of like wearing all black, stumping around a sort of clearly some kind of mechanical set, and generally looking a bit sciencey, but having to have a bit of a fight. I don't know why, but I kept getting the vision of Malcolm McDowell from Star Trek Generations, Soren.
He's far too tall.
Well, I don't think height really has a lot to do with it, but I just because.
Hey, I know you shrink when you get older, but that's a bit ridiculous.
No,
I mean, there's like about a foot difference between Malcolm McDowell and...
Yeah, but then there's also like about a foot and a half difference between Chris Pine and bloody William Shatner. So, I don't think height really makes a difference. But it's like, no, it's just more the fact it just like, I don't know. It just gave me a bit of a Star Trek Generations vibe. And I was just kind of like a bit, well, maybe they are trying to go sort of like pick up on old villains. I'm hoping they don't. I hope they don't do Khan, and I hope they don't do any.
I don't want to see Khan in that at all. I really don't want to see Khan.
I hope they just do something new.
Yeah, leave Khan alone. Think of something new. Come on, this is a parallel universe. You've got an open playground, great big sandbox to play in.
Yeah.
Let's do something new with it.
Yes, exactly. Have fun with it. Do something else with it.
Yeah.
What else? The Avengers poster.
Yes, apparently it's now called not just the Avengers, but Avengers Assemble.
Well, apparently only in the UK. Because that poster is the UK poster. The poster for the US also got released, and it's on IMDb now, and it just says The Avengers.
Why do we have to have Avengers Assemble then?
Because I think there's probably some legal reason to do with Mrs. Peel and Steed.
Oh, is that it?
Possibly.
Oh, Christ almighty.
Yeah. Personally, I'd much rather see a film called The Avengers, which is about the Avengers, and not have thousands of fanboys who remember fucking Mrs. Peel, who's now probably 275, and think, oh no, we cannot be, no. But anyway.
Bar humbug.
Bar humbug, yeah. Fuck Steed. Fuck him right in the ear. He made a shit film anyway. That was fucking awful.
Yes, it was.
That'll go in the shit dip when we resurrect the shit dip.
Yes, that was
fucking
Sean Connery's.
Sean Connery's 15th conservatory.
Here I am in a cult.
No, it was him in the teddy bear costume leaping across the roofs of London, which actually looks somewhere like Portsmouth. But anyway, and everyone walking around in Zorbs. So that's all I remember. And fucking film was awful. I could have seen.
You know what that means, don't you?
What? You're going to tell me you like that film?
No, I'm just saying. You know what that means, don't you? You know what it means to this podcast, don't you?
What?
Shit-covered goggles.
Oh, are we going to have to really watch that film?
It's dude. Yeah. You're suggesting The Fucking Room. I mean, come on. You've got no fucking legs to stand on here.
Well, I have, because I haven't seen The Room, and I have seen The Avengers, as in fucking Ralph Fiennes Voldemort in his bowler hat.
Dude, you've gone to new lows now. This is it. You know, you're almost at the 9th level of hell. Just keep digging.
Okay. Well, yeah. Ooh, ooh, Penny. Keep digging.
The fucking Room. It's lower than the
you
fucking.
You haven't seen it yet.
Judas Iscariot's coffin. I'll tell you that. That's how low it is.
Staring up Judas's arsehole with this one.
Yes, you will.
Anyway, another piece of news which broke just before we went on air was the first viral video appeared for Prometheus.
Yeah, it's a little tiny one of 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, I mean, I watched it because you didn't want to know anything about it.
No,
I needed to check it out.
Trying to be spoiler free, but what did you think of it?
It's interesting. However, all it does really is introduce Guy Pearce's character as a kind of driven, Steve Jobs-esque corporate asshole.
Yes.
obviously not as Steve Jobs, but that kind of stroll out in front of the entire world and just sort of tell everyone the way it is.
Yep.
But what actually he does, and that's all the content is essentially him telling you the legend of Prometheus, not the ship or anything like that, of the actual Greek legend. Because I think it's just like, obviously this is it. Basically, for those of you who don't know, and I will tell you this because it's not a spoiler, because at the end of the day, you can look this up anywhere.
You certainly
Prometheus was a guy who gave fire from the gods to the humans. The gods, as Guy Pearce's character actually exclaims, overreacted, and for that indiscretion, they basically strapped him to a rock where a eagle would come down and eat his liver every day, ad infinitum, until eventually he was released. And then it just goes on about the fact that fire was our first piece of technology, how everything is going forward, and he just sort of goes through all the technological marvels of the last 200-300 years. So he starts off with fire, and then he goes to tools and stone tools and metal tools, and then it goes on to gunpowder and all this kind of thing. And then eventually he just ends up going, I am Peter Wayland, and I am going to change the world. And that's it. And that's kind of where it ends. So really all it is I think, is basically a little bit viral to kind of show who Guy Pearce is, because I've heard he's not in it for very long, and also to basically explain this kind of significance behind the word Prometheus for people who don't really know that sort of thing. Seems okay to me. I think it's nice viral. It's not a viral that makes you go, "Oh, you've told me too much."
Do you think it's actually a scene from the film, or do you think this is a separate?
I don't think so, because looking at it, the shots of Guy Pearce were really nice, but there's these kind of external shots which are taken from way back where in this stadium where he's doing his talk.
Yeah.
And it looks very much like an Adidas advert from like 2008.
So it'd be safe for me to watch, do you think?
I think you can. There's nothing in it that tells you anything about the film. It just tells you that he's Peter Wayland.
Okay.
And on another note, on a separate note, that does mean, and this makes me very, very, very happy, that if he is Peter Wayland, that means Lance Henriksen isn't what's-his-name Wayland, the owner of Weyland-Yutani. He's not. Which means that the only tie to Aliens vs. Predator, to the original series, has been severed. It is no longer canon.
It's been set adrift.
I can cut it away and say it's got nothing to do with it. It's just got two weird monsters that just happen to look like fucking ones that I've seen on other films. That makes me happier than anything. Even if Prometheus is a complete pile of old dog egg, I get to legitimately turn around and say Alien vs. Predator got fuck all to do with anything. So there you go.
Excellent.
I think that's about it.
Well, I can't think of anything.
Can't think of anything else?
No.
Oh! Before we do go,
Yep. We
got a preview on the Facebook group of the Star Wars Connect video. Did you see it?
I sped it on to where you told me to sped it. Where you say to sped it on to 4 minutes 30. Where you've got
4 minutes 30
Princess Leia dance off.
Dance machine.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't worry, she's a slave, but it's okay. She got to do a bit of Macarena in Huttese.
There you go.
It's like, what the fuck? And I have a theory, right? I actually think right now that George Lucas is actually actively trying to kill off the series. He's trying to kill it deliberately now.
Well, you know what? I've got to say, there is a site I learned about from listening to Mike and Ike.
Oh, yes.
The podcast Mike and Ike, the excellent Mike and Ike.
Who you can find on Geek Planet Online.
Well
worth
can.
checking out.
It's a site called Save Star Wars.
Right.
Okay, and it was Isaac who said that read this, you will either be very, very sad or just incredibly depressed. And it's actually quite a worrying what they lay out before you. You see what's going on, and it is like a plot from one of George Lucas's Star Wars movies. It's like,
Really?
yeah, it's
You mean
what
it makes
he's
no sense and needs
No.
12 hours of backstory?
No, it's this like tyrannical overlord who's trying to do away, right? You know, like you've got Darth Vader trying to do away with the Jedi. Well, you've got George Lucas trying to do away with every older version of Star Wars. He's literally put the orders out there to find, destroy, burn any old copies of Star Wars.
Really? And how is that valid? Is they
Any prints that go out there, any sort of like cinematic prints, he wants confiscate. You know, if he can, he wants to get hold of it and just destroy it, so that the only versions are the latest versions that he's done. They even talk about because he helped put together, I think it was the American Film Archive.
Yeah.
They've got. Even though they say they've got Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi in there, or it's just Star Wars.
That's right, the American Film Institute.
They haven't actually got it in there. Do you know why?
Why?
Because he tried to sneak in the updated copies in there rather than putting the original prints, and they wouldn't let him do it.
So they have got it then?
No, they haven't, because they wouldn't allow him to put in those copies.
But the American Film Institute can't have it registered on their list of archived movies if it hasn't been submitted.
This is what I've been reading there. No, he's tried to put in not the original print.
Yeah.
It's like
but it's actually catalogued and archived, so therefore it must be in there.
this is not from what I'm reading here. They haven't actually got a proper copy in there from what I'm reading. I'll go back again and have a look at it, but that's what it's suggesting.
So they got a copy of the Laserdisc or something they found and just stuck it
I
there.
don't know, but yeah, he tried to sneak in the computerized updated versions of these films.
Vision of him like the man with a fucking milk tray sneaking in with a fucking balaclava on his head.
But it's like all these things he said about. I mean, we've probably heard about this already about the fact that he made those speeches about not colorizing films.
Yes,
when he took it to Congress and everything.
Yeah,
and it's just now he's gone completely the other way.
Yeah,
and there's somebody made a point about the fact that he's trying to change history by obliterating anything that's gone before. This cultural, it's like, you know, this cultural waypoint, this Star Wars, you know, this big thing, and he's trying to change
a cultural retcon sort of
yeah
thing. Yeah,
and he's trying to just get rid of it like the Terminator, you know, just take out Sarah Connor, you know.
But I mean, to be quite honest, I think I mean, just from what I've seen in recent months with things like the fucking Yoda advert, which is as tacky can be. I've never seen anything quite so tacky as that. Even down to I mean, because the other thing that gets me, and this is obviously me name dropping, so I apologise in advance. But when I work with them on Clone Wars, every mortal fucking thing has to be completely meticulously gone over again and again and again, right? You know, I remember years back I did that 10-second ad, which got me in the door in the first place. 10-second ad, and it took 3 months worth of changes to do 10 seconds, okay? So it's even got down to the thing now, when I do production for like promos for Clone Wars Season 4, which I'm working on now, and Season 5, which is coming, but it's like, you know, things like you get edicts down saying you can't use the movie music, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can do this, you can do that. When it comes to having characters on screen which aren't Star Wars in together with these characters, they mustn't overlap, they mustn't do this, they mustn't do that. You're like, fucking hell. They really are like vice-like grip on their property, which is fine and understandable because that's, you know, how they make money and that's their one golden goose, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But then you see fucking Yoda on a Vodafone ad and everyone going, I wonder if he tastes like wasabi. It's like, hold on, we had a 25-minute conversation with 30 people about whether or not I can use the Imperial March in conjunction with a picture of Anakin walking through a door. You guys have just turned around and said you can have Darth Vader chatting up a washing machine in fucking PC World. What? Where's the priorities there? I mean, it's just like, what on fucking earth? I mean, it's almost like there's two Lucasfilms.
Yeah.
And one you get in contact with, and it's people who know what they're doing. And then there's one which is kind of clearly has no clue what they're doing, and they're just trying to make as much money as they can. And I don't quite understand it, because that's the most frustrating thing for me at the moment. Is like, because I'm, like I say, I'm on season 4 of Clone Wars, and I am sort of doing stuff for that. And it's like, I am going through the ringer of all these things I can and can't do, all these checklists and everything, and it's like, but then I when we went to see fucking Phantom Menace, and there was that stupid advert with C-3PO and R2-D2 trying to sell us a golden pin.
Yes.
It's like, what? It doesn't actually compute, because if the people who were sending me all those lists of things I can and can't do were looking at that, they presumably would have had an embolism and fallen off their chair, because it's just like, it doesn't make sense. And I'm starting to think that yes, he is actively trying to destroy what has effectively become a gilded cage. Because it's just like there is no other logical reason other than like he's shamelessly the company's trying to shamelessly grab hold of money. But I can never turn around and say that for sure, because, like I say, I work with some of these people who are involved with it directly, and a lot of them that I work with are so obsessively fucking detail orientated that you just can't turn around and say these guys don't give a shit, because everything gets thought about. Everything. I mean, you know, we know who's going to get revealed at the end of season 4. We know who's going to get revealed at the end of season 5. We know what's coming. We know all these bits, and we know how it's all going to be marketed out and everything. But it's like, so if you know all that, and you know how you're going to push everything, and you know the importance of these characters, you know the importance of the situations and the scenarios and all these other cameos that are going to appear in Clone Wars and everything, then you know how important all this stuff is. Then why on earth am I watching Yoda in a fucking sushi bar trying to transfer phone numbers from one phone to the other using the Force?
Or going bowling.
Or R2-D2 trying to shove his fucking port replicator up the fucking PC. I mean, what the hell? Seriously.
It's robot love. Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
yes, cool.
Small
Clock's
rant.
flashing at us.
Clock
There we
flashing.
go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shall I do the Mel Smith moment of the week?
You do that.
Okay. And this week's Mel Smith moment of the week is from Dan Lucyszyn-Hinton. Apologies for the name pronunciation. And Dan writes, "Hi Blackdoggers. I have something of a low-key Mel Smith moment of the week. Almost a decade ago, the great Robert Winston, him with the moustache from all of those sciencey programs on Channel 4, was presenting degrees at my graduation. I stood nervously in line, anxious because, 1, I'd neglected to wear a suit like most of my colleagues, and 2, he was asking questions of some of the students. I'd done fuck all since technically graduating in the summer, and was wasting my life selling concert tickets for Andrew Lloyd Webber over the phone. As I got closer and closer to the end of the line, and the Lord Robert's massive handshake, I tried to think of things I could say to him, pleasantries, small talk. Alas, I reached him too soon to be able to formulate any kind of clear plan, and sure enough, he singled me out for a question. Hello. The Lord Robert's handshake was warm and friendly. He must have looked very gracious on the big stage in front of all those proud parents. Well done, he said. And what are you planning to do? All I could muster was a frightened whisper, which was, Tickets? Nottingham? I hurried off the stage as fast as I could. And that is my Mel Smith moment of the week. Thank you very much for that, Dan. Yes, apologies for your surname pronunciation. Next time, perhaps, maybe when you get embarrassed by Channel 4 dignitaries, you can send me the pronunciation in. And you can, see Dan on Twitter. He's Dan_Hin. HIN, if you want to catch up with him. Thank you very much for that. And if you have any Mel Smith moments of the week, tickets, not in them, send them in to Blackdog at geekplanetonline.com. Sorry, got that bit. And now, before we go on to Roasting the Specs, we will be hearing from our friend from the Great Library of Dreams, which is currently undergoing a bit of a paint job.
It's doing a
bit of a sanding.
It's doing a bit of a mobile thing at the moment.
It's a kind of mobile library. It's in a bit of a van.
I think it took, let's see, I think it's after a day, he's managed to pack 2 boxes of books. That's how many books he's got in the Library of Dreams.
What size of books?
It's the Necromicron, that's what it is. It's copies loaded to like that sort of large-sized tome. Bigger than the bloody stone tablets from the Ten Commandments. That's what they're like.
Yes. But anyway, before we hear from Jim a little bit later on, here, of course, is this week's Jim Moon's Profanasaurus.
Minge winker. Euphemism. A strip-tease artist. A burlesque performer. Most ladies in cosplay.
Minge winkers. And I'm sure anyone who went to the SFX Weekender will, of course, has seen plenty of those. You see plenty of minge winkers, Darren?
I've got a photograph of me taken with 5 minge winkers, actually.
Were they winking their minge?
I think they were.
Lovely.
Yes. I could hear the flapping sounds in the background there.
It sounded like a motorboat.
I thought somebody had left the window open because there was a breeze on the back of my neck. They were winking that much.
It's like a Mr. Ed convention.
I thought Airwolf had turned up. I thought any minute now, Jan Michael Vincent is going to come down, dropping down on a rope. That's it. It's going to be a special con appearance. Yep, sod Brian Blessed. I want to see Jan Michael Vincent come down on a rope from the roof, straight on stage, while with Airwolf being piloted by Ernest Bugnine.
What the fuck?
There you
what
go.
a left-hand turn that fucking conversation took.
Yep.
Right, I suppose we better get on with roasting his specs.
Let's do it.
Yes, with the Burbs.
Roasting his specs. Roasting his specs. Roasting his specs. Roasting his specs. Roasting his specs.
You're gonna watch a film you like when you were young. Sticking in the player, then send feedback when it's done. Has it stood the test of time, a classic even more? Or has the movie lost its shine, a cinematic bore? Is it still hot? Send me what you got. Is it still hot? Send me what you got. We'll read out your thoughts on this week's roast tints and specs. We'll read out your thoughts on this week's roast tints and specs. Roast tinted specs. Roast tinted specs. Roast tinted specs.
Oh my God, call an ambulance!
Right, okay, so the Burbs, the second part of the When Tom Hanks Was Funny series, which is a very limited series of two.
Week by week, it built up into a series of two.
which forms a massive collection all over your floor. Right, okay, so the Burbs, directed by Joe Dante, who also directed things such as Inner Space and Gremlins. Mm-hmm. Written by Dana Olson, and starring Tom Hanks, Bruce Dern, Carrie Fisher, Rick Dunkelman, Corey Feldman, and Henry Gibson. The music was by Jerry Goldsmith, and it was released in 1989. In fact, it was released almost to this date. It's the end of February.
Ooh.
End of February 1989. The budget of the film cost $18 million, and the box office it took at the time was $49 million.
Oh, so it made a bit of change.
It did make a bit of change, yeah. Not as much as I think a lot of people are expecting, but it did. The film was originally conceived by the writer Dana Olson when he originally titled it Life in the Burbs, which was going to be a sort of ongoing sort of TV series. And it was based on his own childhood experiences, where he had an normal middle class upbringing. Quote his quotes, not mine. But he would always see really weird things about his local community, like librarian kills family and kills self. And so when he came to the whole thing of, like, you know, the concept of, you know, just down the road, you know, a next door neighbour could turn into Jack the Ripper. That's where the idea of the Burbs came from. So basically, he came up with the concept of Ozzie and Harriet. I don't quite know where this is. It's probably an American reference, obviously. Ozzie and Harriet meets Charles Manson. That was his original pitch. Now,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah, like you, I'm not sure who Ozzie and Harriet are.
No,
but
I'm not. I'm sure our American listeners probably know more than I do.
Yes.
Basically, the idea of taking suburban weird meant that the producer Brian Grazer decided that Joe Dante would be the best choice, having done things very similar with Gremlins and Matinee and that kind of thing, where you take the normal and you slowly subvert it as the movie goes on. But anyway, and Dante, Brazier, and Brazier agreed that Tom Hanks would be the most suitable actor to portray Ray Pearson, who basically gets him rolled up in all of this. Seeing Dante referred to Hanks as the reigning everyman, a guy that anyone could identify with. And he compared Hanks to James Stewart. You know, in the fact that you put him on screen and you don't need to really write a backstory. Everyone immediately likes him and identifies with him. And they also knew that Hanks had actor capabilities. Now, bear in mind, he hadn't done Philadelphia or any of those kind of films yet. So Dante recognised in him that he could actually act as well. After a film called Nothing in Common, which was done with Jackie Gleason, I believe. Anyway, so Hanks accepted the role of Ray with enthusiasm, saying at the time, "What's so bizarrely interesting about this black psycho comedy is that stuff goes on like this in real life, in regular neighbourhoods, and some of the stuff you hear actually makes your hair stand up on the back of your neck." Apparently, Tom Hanks was also intrigued by his character with distinctly personal traits. Sometimes, he says, there was more than an opportunity to create a guy with a great life, a great house, and a nice wife, a beautiful tree, a nice neighbourhood. He's happy, and then the next day he hates it all. I thought something happened to him off stage, and therefore it made an interesting character and why he would become so paranoid. So basically, Hanks created this whole backstory that was never written. The whole Maynard Avenue, was filmed entirely at Universal Studios, and basically it was a place called Colonial Street, which was also used later on in the Dragnet, in the film Dragnet. And that was it. Ray's house was actually the house of the Virgin Connie Swale from Dragnet.
Right.
Later on.
Oh, we'll have to
yes.
look at that carefully. I think one.
Yeah, it was also redesigned from a set of a series called Leave It to Beaver.
I've heard of that, yes.
Again, I've never heard of that, so I don't know.
Never heard of Leave It to Beaver?
No. So they got the production designer, James Spencer, who had worked on things like Poltergeist and Gremlins, to complete the street and make it into a proper neighbourhood. Basically, that's it. Really, the houses stayed up after the filming was done, and featured in such weird, diverse TV shows as Quantum Leap, Desperate Housewives, and The Munsters. The Munsters was actually the Klopek's house as well.
Oh, I see.
So,
Right.
yeah. And that's about it, really. The Burbs received fairly mixed reviews, holding only a 46% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It did open at number 1, taking $11 million in its opening weekend, but it had a massive drop, and it would only get the 49 million eventually with international sales and at the full extent of its run. And the film has only been shown uncut a couple of times, but since, apart from obviously DVD release, but mainly it's shown in a cut form so that it can be shown on ITV at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Where it's completely the opposite. It's shown at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, exactly. And also, rather interestingly, the music that was played by done by Jerry Goldsmith, also featured some of the tracks which would later feature in Gremlins 2. There you go. That's about all I've got at the moment. There's loads of trivia on IMDb, but I won't bore you with it because it isn't very interesting.
Right.
Other than the movies, Dante's got a great love for cinema and TV and all that sort of thing. So he did a lot of homages. So there's like that scene when you see Ray walking up to the porch, and it's basically a recreation of, I think, a famous Western. I can't remember which one it is. I can't really remember. I think it is actually the gunfight at the OK Corral.
Right.
With that kind of close up on everyone as the sheriff walks down the middle of the road. Also, the films that Ray was watching when he was kind of going through that obsessive watching all the different films, he was watching Race with the Devil, The Exorcist, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, all of which were personal favourites of Dante.
Oh.
There you go. That's about it for the moment. So go on in, Darren. What did you think?
What did I think? Right. Okay. To start off, let's be honest about this film. It's not a laugh out loud movie. Not in my opinion. It's not.
No.
Because it didn't really make me laugh out loud. Mm-hmm. There are some really funny bits in it, as far as I'm concerned. It's like the bit that I love is when they they realise they've got a bone in their hand.
The femur.
Yeah. And it's the shot of the camera going in and out, in and out, in and out, and then his mate stops and Hanks is still standing there screaming his head off.
Yeah.
So there is that, which makes me chuckle every time I see it.
Yeah.
Let's see, and the whole final sequence, with the ambulance and everything, where Hanks does what he does best in these movies, which is lose it.
Yeah.
And he just fuck everybody. I'm going. He picks up his own stretcher, puts it in the ambulance, and he jumps on it.
Yeah,
stuff like that. You know, and sort of like when the house blows up, and he comes out. He's got. It's Laura's always wondered how he manages to go down the steps like he's surfing.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He does that kind of stumble trip.
He kind of slides downstairs rather than actually walk downstairs, So that adds to that whole thing. I think the film itself is a great example of two things. Paranoia within a neighbourhood of closely knit people. Right, who know each other inside out.
Yeah.
And when a stranger shows up, and it's like, automatically there's this distrust of that person, know. Secondly, it's a film about people with far too much time on their hands.
Yes.
That's the whole thing with this movie, and how his mate, who comes around and just sort of like imposes himself on him. Like you see at the beginning, when he walks in and just starts taking stuff out of the fridge. It's like it's breakfast time and he's sitting there eating half a rack of ribs.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like slowly brainwashing Tom Hanks into becoming more paranoid about this neighbour. Even though at the beginning you see there's that great bit where he he kind of goes to knock on the door, and he's standing there watching the house, and there's stuff going on, and he puts his foot on their lawn, and all of a sudden
the wind all fires.
this is it. It's like a tornado blows him back.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So there are some nice touches in the movie like that that I really like. But as I say, I wouldn't say it's a top comedy. It's more there's some I
Nicely
like
observed.
it. Exactly, it's nicely observed. That's it. That's the phrase I'm looking for. For that sort of thing. And it is one that I will still watch if I catch it on television. It's one of them sort of movies that kind of draws you in. I think personally. Okay. Plus, also you can see elements of Gremlins in it. From it's just the way where it's set.
Yeah.
And the community in Gremlins is the same sort of.
Yeah, everyone's a curtain twitcher.
Yeah, everybody's in everybody's pocket. You know, they all know one another. You know, Mrs. Johnson sort of like waves hello to everybody. Yeah. She goes onto the bakers.
No one dies. No one dies by Stennis airlift though.
No one does die by Stennis airlift. Yeah. So yeah, I still like the movie. Let's see. We watched the uncut version because that's the only version that we've got. Yeah. You know, I don't remember any of. I can't remember any standout parts, as in that are added there. To me, it all seemed like, well, I've seen this already. This is a movie that I remember seeing, but
yeah, I think it's things. I just think it's small things like the boot full of skulls,
yes,
and stuff like that, which basically had been cut to bring the rating down. There was a scene that was cut completely and still wasn't in the uncut version, which was, the guy at the end, the lead Klopek, Henry, what's his face? I can't remember his name now. I just read it out, didn't I? Henry. Oh God, the doctor. Yes,
Doctor
Klopek. Yeah, I mean, Henry Gibson. That's it. He basically. He does the speech which Tom Hanks does before getting into the fucking ambulance.
Right.
So there's the whole ending is completely twisted, where basically he doesn't kill or attempt to kill Tom Hanks. He just literally gives the speech Tom Hanks gives, and then everyone just gets carted off, and that's it. There is no actually we did kill people, and actually we did do this, and actually that happened. Which I always thought was a really horrible tacked on sort of like thing anyway. I mean, if Tom Hanks is going to jail anyway.
What, with the fact that they did actually move? Yeah, it would have been nice if it had just been, there hadn't been any bodies, anything like that, because and it turned out to be totally innocent.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. That's kind of one of my criticisms. I got a few on this actually. This time watching it, but yeah, Klopek supposedly comes up and does this whole thing of like, our only crime has been to move into a close full of weirdos, and just because we keep ourselves to ourselves, we're the bad guys. You've blown up my house, you've done this, you've done that, you've dug up my garden, and you want to know something? Even if I had been killing people, you guys are monsters, whereas I'm simply having have something to do. I mean, he gives that kind of like he still implies that there's something going on, but he never ever kind of admits it, and basically Tom Hanks gets carted off. And in some ways, I kind of would have preferred that. I mean, Hanks blowing his stack at the end, I think is what I used to enjoy about his performances. That kind of the guy who gets pushed just that bit too far, and then finally he just goes snap,
and he does it so well.
Fucking hell!
He's got the right kind of shouty voice for it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, on that side of the fence, I really liked it. I have to say though, watching it this time round, Art, the fucking neighbour, the guy who comes in and eats all your food and
him. Oh, he's a twat.
Oh, he's not just a twat. He was an annoying cunt. I stopped seeing him as the comic relief, and I just thought, oh, what a cunt. Yeah. And I think it's kind of one of those old things of sort of changing perspective as you grow up. But it's like I kind of think if I had lived next door to someone like that and he did that to me, he wouldn't have got the second line out of the fucking mouth when he put his hand in the fridge, I would have shut the fridge on him and fucking slammed his hand in the door and told him to fuck off.
Yes.
And it's just, I don't know. Every time they kind of redeem him with a bit of sort of slapstick humour, when he kind of like, when he falls off the fucking electric pylon after cutting the wrong cable and going straight through the roof. And he's got that bit where he's kind of all his fingers are black, all his fingers are black, and his fucking fillings are kind of still sizzling and stuff. You do that, and for every moment like that, you'll get a moment where he's sort of like bullying Ray.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
He literally bullies him, but bullies him in front of his own wife. And does this kind of, you're going to listen to the girls? And it's kind of like, I know it's an 80s thing, and maybe that's just another kind of, I'm looking at this from a different perspective now. But I just thought, you say that in front of my wife, mate, and I don't care what she's saying or what I'm agreeing with. I wouldn't have let you say that. I would have fucking kicked you out the door. All you've done,
be gone.
Is get the fuck out of my house. You are nothing but a time-wasting cunt. And that's the thing. I didn't ever feel like there was any kind of relationship between Ray and Art that actually benefited Ray in any way, and even made him think you could actually, if you saw the two together, you'd ever think they were friends in the first place. And that was the thing, even that bit when he's there watching telly, and then Art fucking turns up at the window, starts tapping at the window, pretending to hide, and then he just sort of interrupts your week just so that you can go, they've taken out the garbage. Fuck off, Art! It's just like, all the way through it, I was just thinking, fuck off, Art. Just fuck off. Just take your hand out my fridge. And then he nicks something from a guy's apparently dead house. Because he does that bit where he walks, when they break into Walter's house.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
And he picks up that little thing and he puts it in his pocket. And it's like...
And Tom Hanks is like, put it back.
Yeah, put it back. It's like, so the cunt's a thief. I mean, it's just, I kind of get it. He's got to be the lovable loser sort of thing. But by the end of it, I just thought, what a cunt. Absolutely, what a cunt. And then when the police are there, you've blown everything up, and he's still standing there going, what, you're going to give up now? It's like, I actually honestly thought when Tom Hanks actually throttled him, that was the first bit of actual action in that film where I thought, you know what? Yes. And I mean, I kind of semi enjoyed the whole neighbourhood twitching satire thing.
Bruce Dern's character is the crazy soldier.
Well, my dad always said with Bruce Dern that my dad only ever described him by the words he said, because my dad could never remember his name. He just go, and he goes, oh, you know that guy, asshole. Because if you watch any Bruce Dern movie, he's the only guy who can say arsehole and actually make it sound like, wow, that's like your kind of trademark. Asshole. Anyway, the thing was, so my dad always used to go, that guy, asshole. What? Okay, fair enough. But Bruce Dern I enjoyed. I thought he was okay, because he's that kind of Vietnam nut. And
when he's on the roof and he slips off. And...
yeah, fucking falls and drops. But I tell you the other bit, which completely derails the film. And it's right at the very, very, very end. And it's like that bit when Corey Feldman, turns around, looks at you, and goes, right. God, I love this town, and then tries to saunter off like some cool guy. It's like, okay, so you're talking to me? Great, I can leap into this TV and throttle your fucking ass, because I tell you what, you are a cunt and all. I tell you, I did. I thought, what a cunt, all the way through it. What is he doing? What is his purpose in the film? All he does is sit there and call up his mates, tell his mates to come round because neighbours are walking across a road. If you see what he's actually seeing, all he's seeing is neighbours walking across the road, walking into each other's house and then walking back out. And then he's going, this is like going to be totally fucking rad. It's like, no, it's not. You, my friend, are a complete cock. I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you like the burning of 1,000 suns in my heart, because you are a knob-end. And not just a knob-end, but you're a self-aware knob-end, and you're a meta-knob-end because you're turning at me and going, I love this town, like I'm supposed to agree with you. Well, by the end of it, I fucking hated everyone. I fucking hated everyone. There was bits of humour I really enjoyed. The bit with Tom Hanks eating the herring on the fucking pretzel.
Yeah.
Just got me. I thought that was brilliant. But And that's what I'm saying. There was just moments where it was like, this is what I want. I want sort of gross out, slightly weird humour. I want Gremlins again. I want Joe Dante when he's doing that really nicely observed kind of dark, black sort of comedy, sort of set in a standard neighbourhood, which is fine. You know, sort of like a sort of comedic Stepford Wives kind of thing. But he never does that. And every time it goes that way, someone sticks fucking Art or that mop-headed twat from fucking Lost Boys in there, and one of them says something utterly stupid and makes me want to put my foot through the TV.
There's a scene, you must have loved that bit where they were both sitting there talking to each other on the porch then.
Oh, fucking yeah. And then they start
whoopee!
Yeah, oh joy. Oh, look. Now we're going to talk about the guy with the ice pick. And it's like, great, bit of background. Love all that. And then all of a sudden it's like, you realise that the pair of them are just winding Ray up. And it's like,
yeah.
Oh.
Poking and prodding.
It was just irritating. I laughed at the bits you were talking about. I did genuinely sit there and think, now we're getting going. Maybe it's not as bad as all that. But then you get that floppy-haired cunt turn up on the fucking porch again and go, dude, this is going to be totally rad. Look, my dopey-ass friend is coming over the road. And look, he's going to stand on the roof with a sniper sight. And everyone sits there on a porch and watches Bruce Dern with a sniper sight. For how long? 4 fucking hours. You know, and then what? He falls off the roof and everyone goes, woo, yeah, woo, woo. It's like, that's awesome. It's like, you guys have got to get a fucking life. I mean, these 3 guys have got, like, a reason. You know, they're just, like, 3 dicks who just got got too much time on your hands, as you say.
Yep.
But every time Corey Feldman stuck his big moon pig face on the fucking screen, that's what he looked like. He looked like the cartoon character from Moonpig.com. Moonpig.com. But someone had managed to transplant Kurt Russell's hair onto it. And just like Moonpig.com, it had a face that I couldn't tire of fucking punching. And then when the fucker turns up at the end and gives me the final line, I love this town, I just thought, you can cock off. If you were right in front of me now, I'd kick you squarely in the bollocks. I would. You fucking irritated the shit out of me.
Stand there while I put on my size 12 steel toe cap Dr. Martens.
Corey, get a load of that. Get a photo of that, Corey. Here it comes.
Pizza dude.
Yeah. Oh, fucking pizza dude. I mean, it was just like, it was everything. He summed up, and the movie in general summed up everything I hated about the 80s. I loved the 80s. I think it's a great era. It gave me some of the greatest movies I've ever watched and still hold dear to this day. However, it also had people trying to be California surfer dudes when they were actually from Peckham.
Yes.
And it had people with bright pink fucking leggings on when they shouldn't have even been wearing fucking clothes in daylight. They should have just been hiding in a basement.
Well, nothing's really changed that much these days. You have people trying to be West Coast rappers when they come from Devon.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Yeah, like that fucking bellend on Kotaku trying to do a fucking rap based around Poxy Mass Effect. And he sounds like someone on YouTube falling down some stairs trying to make every owl rap. Rhyme, you know, going, ow, I've fallen on my feet and I'm dying on the knees and I'm falling on the... Oh, fuck off, you cock. And it's just like, that's exactly how I felt all the way through The Burbs. It was like, oh, Tom Hanks, I remember him, he's quite funny. Yeah, this is quite good. I like the direction. It's Joe Dante, which is basically dark Spielberg. That's good. I like that. You know, it's always those zooming close-ups, the lens flares just off the screen, the long lingering moments of pathos and all that kind of stuff.
Talk about the thing. I did like that bit where Tom Hanks is walking up to the door and it zooms in on one person. Then he goes to another one.
Yeah,
goes to another one,
the gunfight at the OK Corral.
And then it's got the dog as the last one. It's like the dog's eyes looking at Tom Hanks.
Yeah, exactly.
As he's walking up the porch.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. It had moments which were really, really good, and I sat there remembering why I liked the film. But then, like I say, then you get the fucking Cox double bill of Fat Art, who I wanted to see on fire, and fucking Corey Feldman, who I wanted to kick that stupid hair off his head. I mean...
So you were impressed then?
No, I wasn't really. And you know, the only bit where art appears that I actually thought was really funny, apart from obviously when he fell into the thing on fire and someone had electrocuted him, was the bit when Tom Hanks is kind of on his sun lounger.
Yeah.
And they're like sitting there, and then all of a sudden he's looking over, and the camera's kind of pointing down onto the road, and there's him and Bruce Dern standing there, and the way they've filmed it, it looks like there's two little like 8-year-olds, and there's Carrie Fisher going, "No, Ray's not coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Please let us have him." And that was like really nicely done, because it kind of summed up the three characters. Is that basically they're big kids,
Yeah.
trying to scare each other with a big spooky house. But like I said before, it's one of those films which was so, well, on this watch anyway, was very patchy. And also, I don't know, it was, even comedy, when you get outlandish comedy, you kind of go with it. You go with the strangeness, you go with it. But then when it tries to set it in like a realistic world, you have to either have an explanation, or you need to basically kind of have it addressed at some point. And the one thing that got me was that whole thing with every time they turned on the bloody flames, and they turned on that incinerator, and it's the entire house looked like someone had tried to launch a DeLorean back in time in their basement, and it actually browned out like the entire city block, according to Corey Floppyhead Fuckface. And it's like, so no one noticed that. Everyone watching their Double Jeopardy, and then all of a sudden all the lights go out, something that sounds like you're parking a 747 in someone's basement goes off next door. The entire floor, screams and shouts, and light comes out the basement, and everyone just ignores it. Now, okay, so, satire, I get that, sort of like suburban satire. But if everyone's a curtain twitcher, then why hasn't everyone noticed that the lights have gone out for 10 minutes while you're hearing this noise that sounds like a tyrannosaur being anally raped by a bullet train? I mean,
I don't know.
And it was just that kind
Shut
of
up,
thing.
that's why.
Shut up, that's why. So, yes, in conclusion, it's kind of a bit of a come down for me on this film. I mean, I still think Tom Hanks is good in it. I think it's kind of his transition. From being a comedy actor to being a serious actor, because he does have to do a few moments of being fairly serious. But overall, it's just that all the characters in it are generally hateful, the situation is generally stupid, and the finale is the one thing that kills it stone dead for me, because it's like if they just bundled everyone off, and that's a complete black comedy. That's how you do black comedy. You end it on a dour note. Because it is that kind of, well, actually, there was nothing wrong. You guys have just wound each other up. You've blown up some poor sod's house. You're now all going to jail. Ha 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 ha. There's the comedy. There's the black comedy.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They had to stick on a fucking happy ending, which required the Klopek to turn up and actually say, "Do you know what? I actually did kill them, and I did it too, and I did it, and then drive off in a haphazard way nicking a fucking ambulance that no one apparently notices, so that they can have a fight in the back of the ambulance, and everyone just stands there and watches this ambulance drive over a fire hydrant. Here's Tom Hanks screaming out the back. You hear, where's Mr. Klopek gone? Oh, he's just vanished. I mean, it's just like, it was just so obviously tacked on to make a finale. And it just felt really false. And then, of course, you get Corey Feldman on top of that, trying to make you, trying to win you over with his smile that looks like someone's stuffed his mouth full of Play-Doh and his eyes full of...
He broke the fourth wall, man. He broke the fourth wall.
Yeah, but I don't mind if people break the fourth wall in films. It's just I have to like them, or at least understand them first. If someone breaks the fourth wall and looks at me and goes, "I love this town," they're almost expecting you to go, "Yeah, I'm with you there," and whereas I'm actually thinking, "Fuck off, cunt."
Right. How about we have some feedback then?
Okay. We'll have some feedback. Our first piece of written feedback actually, our only piece of written feedback, I think, if I'm going to just double check, is from Steve Murray. And our friend Steve writes this. Hi, Lee and Darren. Greetings from the very hot and sunny Australia. That's a good start.
Oh, you're really endearing yourself to us.
Yes, yes. How's the weather outside, Darren? Have we got any abominable snowmen trying to kill us?
No, actually, it's been quite warm today.
Yeah, it has been quite warm today. It's not been Australia warm.
No, but to tell you the truth, Aisley, I don't think I'd want it to be Australian warm.
All right, fair enough.
Because it smells. Anyway,
All right,
I'm just making a. I don't know. I'm just throwing punches there. Maybe I'll hit something.
Yeah. How's your cricket team?
Yeah.
Anyway, so it goes. I'd hoped to send in my first piece of MP3 feedback for this, but I won't get time this week. But I couldn't let this movie go without saying something about it. The Burbs, thank the freaking pizza dude. I've always liked this film ever since I first saw it when I was 16, around 150 years ago. I'm so glad you chose this over all the Tom Hanks early work. Biggs was just a saccharine cock slap to the face, and Bachelor Party was just shit. I'm sorry everyone who wanted that film chosen, but you're just wrong. But you did it. You chose The Burbs, so I humbly thank you both. What a great movie. I've lost so many films to rose-tinted specs over time, and I've been fortunate to listen to you. Fortunate to listen to you guys, and I was really worried about going back to this, having liked it as much as I did in many viewings in the past. But thankfully, I still like it. So, where to begin? Well, the first thing is that hit me on this rewatch was the use of music, mainly the opening as we move through the clouds and onto the street, and finally the Klopek's house. It's kind of sounds like the opening of a Hammer horror movie. And then when Ray and Art move up into the house, daring each other to go in, it moves into the Magnificent Seven theme. Ah, that's it. Magnificent Seven, not the fucking... Gunfight at the OK Corral. I fail. Anyway.
Yes, you did dumb fail.
I did dumb fail. Anyway. And then there's the great moment when Hans drives his car up to the bins and beats the shit out of the bag with a shovel. Though at lesser moments, it sounds like someone let Danny Elfman into the room. Yeah, Danny Elfman, his fucking organ grinder monkey and his Oompa band. But anyway. The cast is pretty much pitch perfect for me. Bruce Dern is a great ex-military lieutenant. Corey Feldman plays well Corey Feldman. Wendy Schall, Francine from American Dad, is pretty hot when in the garden.
There is that one bit. It's the channeling of you pause it at this certain moment.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I know. I was there, don't worry. DVD, high res. Woo. Anyway, Rick Duncommon is a total douche, who is someone you really hate but end up liking. Well, that's open for debate, I think. Carrie Fisher, who made me wonder if she did any nude work around this period, and Henry Gibson, a stalwart of American TV, but always great in everything I've seen him in, and then Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks. Well, okay, let me just say this. While he's good in this film, doing all the Tom Hanks bits, I'm thinking also that this is the second time we've seen a B scene from him in as many weeks, and that moment when he and Art finally find the femur, and they do that great little scream plus many yelling moments. While I like him in this, I think his part could have been played by any other actor and not lose anything. He's good, don't get me wrong, for a lot of this film, but I think he just went through the motions. Those fucking sardines and pretzels make me gag every time. This is probably my first toe in the water of black comedy, and I think it holds up well enough. Again, I've always wondered how the Klopeks never got caught before, what with their nuclear-powered incinerator and midnight grave-digging parties and everything. So, for me, this is still a great film, and I still own it on VHS. I don't have a VHS player anymore, but that's beside the point. So hopefully next week I'll have time to record some MP3 so that I can actually say hi to you both and do a proper review. But until then, goodbye from the other side of the world, and I hope you guys and the rest of the Blackdog world have a great week. See you guys, and long live the pizza dude and Manimal. Steve.
Thanks very much, Steve.
Yes, indeed.
Got it harmonised there for a minute.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Steve. Well, you know, I can see how people would like it, and like I say, there are bits of it that I do still like. I just think that watching it now, my perspective just has changed. Being a house owner, having neighbours,
Yeah.
not being a little 8-year-old kid who wants to go running around and ring the doorbell of a, creepy neighbour next door. I mean, because the other thing, interestingly, just while we're at it, is where I live is 233.
Yeah.
Up the road is 223. And 223 is your archetypal creepy house.
Really?
All the garden's fucked. The drive's fucked. The house is never seemingly occupied by anyone. And yet we still get letters delivered to us, which should be delivered to them, and vice versa.
Are you brave enough to drop them off?
The kids do.
Let the kids go.
Let the kids go. But anyway, no, but the thing is, they run up and they're quite happy just to throw it through the door. But the thing is, so having seen that situation now, and actually been in that situation, it kind of changes your perspective a little bit, because it's just like everything seems to just a little bit more closer to home. And while, okay, black comedy is supposed to kind of make you feel slightly uncomfortable,
Yeah.
this didn't make me feel uncomfortable like, oh no, this is cringy, toe-curly stuff. It just made me think, I fucking don't like anyone. I don't like anyone in it. Fuck off. Especially Corey Feldman, who can fuck off forever.
Feldman.
Whatever. You know what? Doughboy, I think I'll call him. Play-Doh face.
This is Stay Puft.
Mr. Stay Puft Moonpig, fucking Kurt Russell here. Anyway, we've got some MP3 feedback now. And the first MP3 feedback is from our friend Colin. Colin Gaisley, a.k.a. Ouroboros podcast, which is, coming to a 5th year anniversary.
Fifth
It's
anniversary,
done
yeah.
its 5th anniversary
Has
now,
it
hasn't it?
actually been released?
I'm pretty
now,
sure
that
it
one?
has. I'm pretty
Done
sure
it?
it has. I haven't checked
I know-
it recently, but
I know he
yes.
put the call out recently
He did put the call out.
for suggestions for music tracks
Yes.
to be played on his show.
But, yes. So, let's hear what Colin has to say about The Burbs.
The Burbs not only asks the question, whatever happened to Tom Hanks, but it also asks the question, whatever happened to Joe Dante? He went from producing humorous films with a bit more horror content than was strictly necessary with this and Gremlins. And the last thing I saw that he directed was the Halloween special of Hawaii Five-0. Joe Dante's career has gone a bit downhill over the years, I think it's fair to say. And I don't think The Burbs is one of his better films. I see this film as an unsuccessful satire. I think it makes some interesting and some valid points about living in suburbia and about the horrors of mundanity. It's all set up really nicely at the beginning with the petty squabbles over dogs messing in other people's yards, the overly sexualized young wife of one of the residents, the person who feels it's perfectly okay to come into your house uninvited and start eating everything in sight. I mean, it's American suburbia at its most terrible, and you might say also at its most cliched. But for the general thesis of the film to work, you do have to have the epitome of what it is like to be in suburbia, and so everything has to be heightened in some way. And I think they do a very good job of that, of making the daily grind of a cul-de-sac like this seem horrific and seem like the perfect environment for somebody to go off the rails and to believe that their neighbours are serial killers or whatever. I mean, in Tom Hanks's usual shouted speech, he does give the thesis of this film. We are the ones who have gone crazy. We have demonised these people who just wanted to be left alone. And I think if they stuck with that, And if that was the focus of this film, it would have been much, much better. But they go and spoil it. They make it so this odd family is actually a group of serial killers. And when you add that to the extravagant set pieces, like the number changing to 666 and a swarm of bees coming out, and when they find the femur, the weird zooming in and out on their faces as they scream, it's kind of cartoonish. And when you have set up this idea through all these cliches of the horror of mundanity, to then expand into this rather clownish attitude doesn't work. If this film had been made in the 21st century instead of 1989, I suspect that they actually would have ended on Tom Hanks's shouted speech about suburbia, and he would have been sent off to prison for blowing the house up, and it would have been a better film. But instead you have this over-the-top, cartoonish, clownish attitude. Like, why is Hans wearing full Bavarian dress? That is fucking stupid. They set up a nice satire and then completely shat on it by making everything so extravagant that it just doesn't work. I didn't actually enjoy The Burbs, and for my money, the two Tom Hanks films he should have done were Big and Dragnet.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for that, Colin.
Cheers.
Yeah, I think you the valid point right there is that it kind of is a film of two distinctly different feels. It's kind of like you got the black-hearted satire, and then you've got this kind of Looney Tunes-esque kind of comedy falling through roofs and what have you that kind of jibes with that. And also it's interesting that he also thinks that it should have just ended where it, him kind of getting carted off.
As much as I like the film, I actually think that would have been a better ending myself, you know?
Yeah.
That would have been more of a point, I think, in the end. That's like,
Well, that's the thing. Dante's direction, with all of his films, tends to be, he did it with, was it the Twilight Zone movie?
Yeah.
He was involved in a few bits of those. One of them or both of them, I can't remember. He was involved in one of the sequences anyway, and I just remember the same thing occurring, that you get this moment of kind of like, it's kind of really dark and serious, and then all of a sudden fucking the horror equivalent of Wile E. Coyote will suddenly pop up in the middle of it, and you're like, what the fuck? And, and Gremlins was kind of the best way he could have done that, where he kind of takes suburban horror and throws in these monsters and then gives them a sort of dark edge, but also makes them quite lovable.
Do you know what? I think what we'll have to do is
that could be our Christmas movie this year.
I think we should do Gremlins 1 and 2 back to back, because I've always felt Gremlins 2 took the piss out of Gremlins 1, and there is a particular scene or a couple of scenes in it that emphasise that.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I mean, personally, for my money, and again, this is a rose-tinted opinion because I haven't seen it in such a long time.
Nor have I.
Is Dante's one of Dante's best films?
I thought you were going to say Dante's Peak for a minute.
No.
I don't know why.
No. Was Inner Space.
Ah, yes.
See, now I always think, because basically that's the one where he reins everything in, and kind of where he goes off the rails tends to be films like Toy Soldiers, and what's the other one?
See,
Explorers.
that's another very Gremlins-esque. The whole close community thing where he keeps it within a certain area. All the action.
Yeah, I mean, you can see why he was picked for The Burbs as a job, but I mean, it's just like, but as Colin says, you can't have a black comedy and then have lunatic elements in it and actually expect it to gel. I don't know. I mean, like I say, the first time I watched this, or the first time we watched it, I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah.
However, now, no, it kind of, can't say with hand on heart that I enjoyed it as much as I did the first time I saw it, because I just don't. I didn't. Yeah, well, we've done this anyway. I didn't find anything endearing about half of the action of what was going on screen. But there you go. Anyway, so next piece of feedback. Thank you very much again, Colin.
Yeah, cheers for that.
The next piece of feedback is from Martin Thompson and Glenn. I can never remember his surname. So, we're going to hear what they have to say.
Hi Lee and Darren, this is Martin Thompson once again.
And Glenn Morris.
And, you know, most people think of time as a linear construct, but it's actually much more like a big ball of wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. So anyway, yes, we'll try and make the feedback a lot shorter this week.
Yes, less waffle.
Yes, less waffle. I blame the editor. Anyway, The Burbs. I hadn't seen this before, coming through it totally new. What about you?
I saw this many, many moons ago as a child. Film where, on seeing it first of all, it was like a who's who of older films. Like, oh my god, look, it's Princess Leia, and so that's what happened to that kid from Goonies. And I think the old guy was from Silent Running, or at least he looked like an older version of him.
I think it might be actually Bruce Dern. It's one of those names I recognise, but I couldn't tell you anything he's been in. The Burbs I always remember as well because it used to be on TV quite a lot. The one striking one, the one I always remember for it is just Art holding that femur bone and just says, "And this is Walter." And
zooming in and out.
Yeah, and that just sticks in my mind from the adverts. I just wonder what the hell is this? It seems that I don't think I'll ever forget The Burbs, actually, because while we were watching it Sunday night, I became an uncle. I got a text message not long after we finished watching the film at 9:01. Had a new nephew. So on to the film, obviously. Let's waffle.
And looking at it as a sort of a non-nostalgic film, it's very disjointed. It feels like it doesn't want to decide what it wants to be. You know, is it a dark film? Is it a comedy? Is it somewhere in between? And I think the ending, it should have ended where Tom Hanks did his little speech about, you know, weird people living in houses. You know, we are actually the weird people rather than them. And if it had ended there, it had, I suppose, sort of like made a more sense film. I
agree with you there, because it's up to then it's like a parable about people being suspicious and, you know, letting your imagination run away with you. Then, oh look, Tom Hanks happens to be right all along. When they tried to kill him, and oh look, all the charges are now mysteriously dropped, and he can bugger off up to the lake. So, that's a bit of a convenient way of ending it. I mean, I like the way it was shot. I mean, some marvellous shots in there as well. You know, you see, so just at the beginning you get establishing shots of everybody. You get various. Some wonderful shots throughout. I mean, the one that sticks in my mind at the moment is when they're marching over to the house and you have the American flag in the background. They're marching over with the brownies. I do think Corey Feldman was very good though. I think he's got it was Ricky. Again, that's bringing all these people together just to watch, because they knew something's gonna go off. Tom Hanks, I don't know if I believe him as an everyman who just wants to watch the game and drink some beer. But again, he seems to have two settings. He goes from calm, then he just goes to mega annoyed. And this is the 80s, so everything's ramped up as well. You know, I mean, look at the neighbour as well, Hans. I mean, it looks like it reminded me of Oddbot from Carry On Screaming. You've got all the obvious face fur, and he's obviously made up to look like a hillbilly, and you've got the doomy music that happens when the car rolls up, and you know the basement belching steam and everything. But I like how they sort of kept it to the cul-de-sac. Just apart from zooming up into space and down, but it gives it more of a claustrophobic feel. I read up a couple of bits of trivia on it as well. Here's one: is the Universal backlot that was filmed on. They still use it today. They use it for Desperate Housewives and stuff like that. And the only house that's not changed over the years is Walter's. So you can just see that. And Wendy Shaw as well. As I said to you, she's the voice of Francine now in American Dad. Right. Anyway, Final thoughts. Personally, yeah, it was an interesting film. I don't know if I'd want to watch it again. Perhaps I'd like to give it another viewing, but I can't say it's leapt immediately into the top 10 of films. So yeah, you.
For me, it'll always be a personal favourite, but like I said before, without the rose tinted specs, it's a very undecided movie. But anyway,
that's us for now. Goodbye.
And farewell.
Right, thank you very much. Sorry, Glenn, I didn't mean to say Glenn. I can never remember his name. It's Glenn Morris. I just had a complete brain fart while I was trying to just roll it off the tongue.
Shame on you.
Shame on me.
For shame. For shame.
Shame.
What a great phrase. For shame.
For friends, for fun, for fuck's sake. Anyway, thank you very much, guys. And congratulations, Uncle Martin.
Uncle Martin.
Uncle Martin. Makes him sound like a children's entertainer.
I was actually thinking of Uncle Ben's rice. Smiling face on all packets now. It's not called Uncle Ben's anymore, it's called Uncle Martin's.
Uncle Martin's.
Yes.
Boil in the bag.
Boil in the bag. I'm sure there's a cream for that. Whee!
Oh, this is
We've got to get that.
This
that
has got
fucking, what do they
drum
call
machine.
It? No, it's a
Drum
thingy
roll.
shot or whatever they.
Yeah, the hi-hat.
Yeah, it's called a something shot though.
Okay.
I can't remember what it, but we need to get a button with
For
it
that.
on it. Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Yes. So, thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Martin. Doesn't sound like it really did much more than sort of like act as a bit of a curio. I mean, Glenn obviously liked it, but Martin was kind of like, yeah, it's okay, I guess. Yes, and the other thing that was going through my mind is, you know, the I thought Martin was going to say it, but on the bit about the zooming in and out into space,
Yeah.
it's the only Universal film where the Universal logo actually appears at the beginning and the end. There you go. Because you zoom out and zoom into it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, not exactly super great piece of trivia there, but there you go.
It might save me life.
However, it did. I tell you what, even that bloody logo annoyed me. Do you know why? Because it was a CGI globe, and when you see it zoom in, you can actually see the edges of the polygons.
Oh, Jesus.
You can actually see it's not a real circle.
No.
No, but anyway, that's just me. I
Yeah.
clearly was already on the downer for it before we even got going. Right, so thank you again, Martin. Thank you again, Glenn.
Yes, thanks to both of you.
And that's obviously Glenn Morris. Glenn Morris. Glenn Morris.
Glenn Morris. Glenn Morris.
Glenn Morris.
Glenn Morris. Glenn Maurice.
I will not forget it again.
There you go.
And now, on to the final piece of feedback. Well, who could it possibly be? Who else could it be? It's the man for whom, without this feedback, the Blackdog would simply sink.
I think so, without a trace.
Without a trace. He is our St. Christopher now. He is our little Blockbusters mascot that sits on the sort of desk.
Blockbusters mascot.
Yeah, you know, when you see Blockbusters, they have the mascot.
Oh,
on the
right.
front.
Sorry.
The
When you
lucky
said
mascot.
Blockbusters, I actually thought you meant video shop.
No, not the video shop, you prick. Fucking hell.
Bob Holness.
Yes, Bob Holness. I'll have a pee-pee, Bob. And,
You are excused.
yeah, exactly. Well, it's Simon Mayo now, anyway.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, no. The soul's just been sucked right out of that show
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
That's it.
But anyway, away from Simon Mayo and he's peeing on national television, it's time, of course, for Jim Moon of Hypnobobs, Hypnogoria, and the Library of Dreams, currently in transit.
Yes. In boxes.
In boxes. Yeah, the mobile Library of Dreams.
Oh, God. See, I've now got this image of a bus that you go into, and it's all like got lovely carpets and like high back chairs. And Jim's there as I think, in like his smoking jacket with a pipe. Good afternoon.
On a 36B bus.
Exactly,
It's
yeah.
got candles and everything all around it. But anyway, so over to the mobile Library of Dreams, and let's hear what he has to say about the Burbs.
When fan talk turns to the subject of horror and comedy, the usual names all come up. American Werewolf in London, Shaun of the Dead, Reanimator, and Evil Dead 2. The Burbs never seem to get a mention, which is something of a shame, because it is a damn fine comedy horror film. Yes, it's more comedy than horror, but hey, the horror's still there. There's a cracking mystery plot to keep things rolling along nicely, a superb cast giving it their all, and a lot of laughs. All of which make it quite surprising that this film is so overlooked. And indeed, I've been guilty of this in the past. I remember seeing it back at the cinema many years ago, and thought, that was fun. However, catching it several more times on TV in the intervening years, I began to think, this is actually a damn good film. Why don't I own it? And so I went out and got the DVD. And it's one of those movies that it has laughs and charm, and it's an ideal tonic for when the spirits are a bit low. And I think it's been a quietly influential little film in its own way. Watching it this time, I suddenly thought we've got an average guy as our hero. He's got a slightly deranged best friend in the form of Art, and his military-obsessed neighbour has a hot wife. What does that remind me of? It's the cast of King of the Hill, isn't it? And since The Burbs, we've had an awful lot of shows and movies that peer behind the immaculate curtains and peep through the white picket fences to reveal the eccentric and strange dwelling in our own suburban neighbourhoods. However, it seemed to come just at that turning point in Joe Danté's career, when he went from one of the A-listers alongside Spielberg, Lucas and Zemeckis, and then seemed to just vanish into the lower divisions of filmmaking. Which is a shame, because so far, nothing I've seen he's directed has disappointed me in the slightest. Indeed, pound for pound, he's got a far better hit rate than Spielberg, Zemeckis and Lucas. Well, a blind duck's got a better hit rate than Lucas, but you get my point. Howard, a new breed of hero shit-covered goggles. And The Burbs is an excellent example of the kind of film he's been turning out. It's funny, offbeat, yet strangely heartwarming at the same time. It was a joy to watch it once again, and, as I said before, it is a very influential film. Satan is good. Satan's our pal. I want to kill everybody.
And, of course, if you want to send any correspondence to Jim Klopek... Jim Moon. No, thank you very much for that, Jim. Okay, so a really positive review for that. Do you are you with Jim there, or?
I kind of am. It's it's still a film that I enjoy watching, and it's one of those films that every time it does come on, I kind of get caught up in it. You know, so.
Yeah, I mean, I do take his point. It is quietly influential. I mean, yeah, King of the Hill. I didn't even think about that. Oh, mind that. There you go. We've had to kick you the stand.
Kick you the kickstand. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have to say I don't agree with him at this point. I mean, if I'd listened to his feedback before watching it, I probably would.
Yeah.
But like I say, I just big fat moon pig face Feldman just does my nutting. But anyway, go on. So yeah. So you agree with him, yeah? Agree with Jim.
Yeah, I kind of yeah.
You're down with Jim.
I'm down with Jim on that one.
Down with Jim. Okay, fair enough. Well, thank you very much for that, Jim, as ever. And if you want to hear Jim or more of Jim, you can hear him reading weird fiction. Weird poetry at the moment, isn't it?
It was the poetry
this week. Yeah,
it was this week.
Yeah, it was this week. Yes. On Hypnobobs, which is either on hypnogoria.com or on geekplanetonline.com/hypnobobs, or on iTunes. Just search for Hypnobobs and you'll find it. Right. So there you go. That's the end of another episode. And so. Now it's time to go to our next movie. If you haven't been looking on the Facebook group, which is the Blackdog Podcast...
Well done in this case.
You wouldn't know what's about to hit you.
Sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Well, yeah, but if you don't know you're about to get punched in the face, it still doesn't excuse the fact that you're about to get punched in the face. It doesn't make it any better. Yes, so I was looking through the films and sort of polling because one thing is that it came up on the Facebook group was Anthony James mentioned that way back in the midst of time we used to do this thing called the shit dip or the bag o' shite, which was kind of like a bag full of all the shittiest films, and Darren would kind of pick one out, and that would be our shit cover goggles for that week. Mm-hmm. And I suddenly thought, well, that's a really good idea. We'll get that back. So I started polling around the sort of like workmates and colleagues and stuff like that, and just saying, look, what's the worst film you've seen in the last 20 years? And just working my way through until eventually one guy said, The Room. Now, I'd heard about The Room before because it's on Brandy and Dave's Inside Outcast. They did a whole episode on it.
Really?
And, yeah, they did.
Fucking hell.
I haven't listened to that one, I'll be honest with you. But I know they did it. And basically, I thought, oh, God, yes, The Room. I've heard about that. That is really awful. And then this guy who suggested it turned around and said, look on IMDb. And there it was on IMDb in the top 20 worst films of all time listing on IMDb. So this is a true monumental shit cover goggles, and in fact, it's higher on the ratings of terrible films than House of the Dead. House of the Dead gets like a 2.8, and The Room got like a 2.4 or 2.1. So I saw it and I thought, you know what? Let's give that a go. Because basically we've got 3 weeks and then we start our Avengers thing. So I was just trying to make you very grateful that we're going to the Incredible Hulk and Iron Man and stuff. So, yes. So, yes, we've picked The Room. Tommy Wiseau. Tommy Wiseau in The Room. Apparently one of the most terrible films of all time.
Got a feeling it's going to be the most terrible film of all time.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard film for a lot of people to get a hold of. I understand that. And if you can't send in feedback, that's fine. A lot of people are sending in feedback which involves having sort of clips of Futurama or Family Guy of people shooting themselves in the face. So obviously I'll just take that as read. That is a bloody awful film. If you do want to send in feedback about The Room, do send it in to blackdog@geekplanetonline.com. Last order of business is that we will be back recording on Friday for a special podcast dealing with the game Mass Effect. Obviously, not everyone's cup of tea. Understand that, but did kind of want to do something to celebrate the third game coming out next week.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. If you hear the next Black Dog and it's actually a load of people talking about a game, we are still doing The Room. You're not off the hook. That's next Tuesday. Right? So, that's it, really. Before we go, and I say thank you to everyone, I just also like to say that if anyone likes the end theme, because I had this from Melissa, Sean and Melissa asking about the end theme, it is actually the end theme to The Littlest Hobo, an old 70s, 80s TV show, which was essentially like The Incredible Hulk, but without Bill Bixby and a big green Lou Ferrigno.
Well, I would actually have called it Lassie, but with the budget removed.
Well, yeah, it could have been that as well. Yes. Yeah, where the dog kept changing in every single scene. So, yes, what we'll do is we'll play out with the full theme of The Littlest Hobo for this week. For those of you who remember such things, enjoy it. And for Melissa, obviously enjoy. And we shall see you either next week for The Room or in a couple of days' time for Mass Effect Special. Yes, we'll see you all soon. Thank you very much, Darren.
No problem, dude.
And thank you to all our feedbackers, and thank you very much for listening. We'll see you soon, and goodbye.
Bye.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road. It's where I'll always be. Every stop I make I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold. A brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far, but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
Get out of the booth, Jack.
No, I like it in here.